Thanks for joining me for Where I'm From 65 with Kim. Happy New Year. What are you reading right now? I am reading, I read Catalog of Unabashed Gratitude by Ross Gay. I ended 2020 Gay and I loved it. His website, he talks about how he's here to study joy. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. It's my first time on Instagram Live, so I'm delighted.
Hooray!
Hey,
It's I am a lot of people's first Instagram live.
so cool.
So hopefully it'll all go well.
Yeah,
Technology, you know how it is. Sometimes it's wonderful. Many times. But then
yes. Do you have a fancy way to put your phone, or you're not holding it?
I do not hold it. I have one of those ring lights with the stand.
Good to know.
I splurged on it because I was like, I feel more at ease.
I hear you because I don't want to make people be rocking. I feel like they're on a boat, but I'll do my best to be still.
And then when I'm not here, which has only been a couple times, I do sort of set it somewhere. And then I spend the time being like, okay, don't move. Like I'm sending telepathic messages to my phone to cooperate with mixed results. Oh, are you frozen? Okay, Kim is frozen for me. Is she frozen for you? Oh, can anyone message me and let me know if Kim is frozen for them? Um, this always makes me sweat when someone's frozen. Okay. I'm in my spot where it usually is works and I have all the bars. Can Kim say
Ah, sorry about
she's
that.
gone? Oh,
I
she's
did
back.
something
Thank you,
wrong, but
Cody.
I'm here.
That's okay.
I
It
agree.
always makes me like break out in a sweat when that happens. So,
Right.
um, so you're back. Okay, thank you. I was like asking people, hey, is she gone for you? Because I would never know if it's your thing.
So far,
So
so
how are you this
good.
new
It
year?
is. I live in central Missouri, which is
Hmm.
very dreary. But today, the sun is
Snowy?
shining and there are blue skies, so it's a good day.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm in Southern California and we are having an atmospheric river, so it is also
Yeah.
dreary here and rainy. Um, but as long as I'm worried there will be flooding and mudslides. But I am
Mhm.
grateful for the rain always. So, is there anything you'd like to say before reading your poem,
Was
or would you just
I'm ready to launch into it.
like
It
to
was
launch into
so
it?
fun. The process to remember and then to have.
Oh,
So I was thinking of this as
mm-hmm,
childhood. So thinking of what my childhood was like, and then viewing it to where my kids are right now, and to thinking, well, what are they going to be writing about?
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
fascinating.
I
So
thought the same thing.
yeah, but I loved it. And just so grateful that this is a prompt, as a lot of
Yeah,
poetry, that just keeps on giving. You can keep on going back to it. And
it really is. And I have made the promise to myself, oh, I'm going to do another one this year. I haven't done it yet, but just maybe try it from a different point of view,
mhm.
like a different age or different, you know. Georgella said when I spoke to her, she'd done like more than she could count,
Nice.
like 80 or something. Yeah. So, yes, it does keep on giving for sure.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, whenever you're ready.
So I am from mixtapes, from Sony Walkmans and Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now. I am from the maple trees, rooted, strong, limbs stretching to the skies. I am from Lake Erie, whose waters invite me deeper into mystery. I'm from Barbie and My Little Pony, from the Ames and the Knowles. I'm from Sunday afternoon backroad driving and weekday dinner at Mark Pie's Chinese buffet. From Listen to Your Mother and Don't Forget to Wear Your Boots. I'm from potlucks, cookie exchanges, and stay up all night lock ins playing sardines and singing camp songs. I'm from German grandparents who came to America fleeing war, marzipan, and New York City pizza you can fold in half. From the brass bell rung when Santa comes, the born to be wild leather jacket of my father, the china cabinet with 3 girls dancing and Delft plates. In a spare bedroom closet was a box with a manuscript, typed by my grandfather, a story waiting to be told, a legacy of words and hopes. I am from this tucked away manuscript, writing my own story.
I love that. So have you read your
No,
grandfather's book?
no, I have not. And
I,
my mother also is a writer and loves to write. And it just reminds me
oh,
that
really?
writing can get passed down, and somehow how we don't even understand it. It's within our bones. And I remember finding the
Mhm.
manuscript with my mom. I found it. My mom knew clearly where it was. She put it there. And thinking like,
Mhm.
this is a part of my history. I want to, so someday.
Yeah, so
It's just
it
that,
exists
I
still?
mean, so
Does
this,
it
it's
exist?
the very thin paper typewriter paper. Yes.
Yeah, like the onion sort of.
So yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
a
Are
little
you
bit.
afraid to touch it because you're afraid it will, yeah, yeah, like evaporate
Yeah.
under your or the oils from our finger? You'd have to wear the rubber
And
gloves.
lots,
Yeah. Oh, that's
and
amazing
there's lots
it
of
still
lore
exists.
about it, what my mom knows about it. And I think my grandfather tried to get it published. He just, at that time, he would just send it off to the publishers. And
No, I know. And like your one copy, which every time I see that, I'm like, oh my God, it gives me like a minor panic because it's just I even remember when I started writing like on my computer, it was not great. The technology was not that reliable, and you would try to do backups of some kind, but it wasn't like things did disappear. Like I
yeah,
have had things disappear, and it was heartbreaking. Or I'd have like a printed copy of something, but that was it. So you had to retype it, but at least you could retype it. Like that, it's just gone. Um, so,
yes, so
so
someday.
that's a treasure. Yeah, yeah.
She does
And then your
like
mother,
write
you
too.
said also
She
wrote
scribbles
something
on
or a manuscript.
paper napkins, so she'll be at a restaurant listening, and kind of those kind of notes from the real world. She likes to write poetry,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's
Mhm.
just this legacy that keeps getting passed down. And I hope too then my children are seeing me write journals, scraps of paper,
Mhm.
typing in my phone. And I hope, I trust it does make a difference, and it matters that they see that words have power and creativity is worth investing in.
Yeah, I think telling your story matters. Whatever your story is an important thing to pass on, and also to engage with other people. Like I do think the more I accept my own worth, I'm better at accepting
Yes.
others' worth, uh, which helps me in the world. So I think it's a lovely thing to model.
I
And
do have
when
my
is your book
first
coming out,
book.
Kim?
I co with a friend, my friend Erin Stribus. It
Yes.
comes out March 21st, which
Mhm.
feels like,
Wow.
thank you. It,
Congratulations.
yeah, we're with the Small Church Publishing Incorporated, and it went to the printer
Mhm.
before Christmas. And so this next time we um, hear about our book, we're going to have the physical copy. And then, yeah, it's a book of grace-filled
That's
devotions
wonderful.
for moms in the thick of raising young children, which is where my co-author and I
Hmm.
live right
That
now.
seems, yeah, I think that's very useful. I think that's a time when you need a lot of grace, and it can sometimes be hard to
Mm-hmm.
access,
And the
even
and
though you
our
want
whole
to.
hope in writing this particular devotion, The Beauty of Motherhood, is not for to give moms one more thing to do and to feel guilty,
Right.
but to
No,
say
yes, of
like
course.
God is
Hmm.
with you in the midst of this moment.
Right. Right.
Yes.
And what you're doing is enough, because I feel like there's not
Mhm.
enough messaging about that. Like
Yeah.
everyone
Yep.
is really
And everyone's
trying hard.
holding something we just that we can't see. So to be gentle and
Hmm.
gracious with people.
Hmm. Yeah, I think grace is that's something I'm trying to give myself and others more of, like I don't think there's
Mm-hmm.
such a thing as too
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Um, so so you spoke a little about this, about what your experience was, but like, were you surprised by certain things, or was this, did it come out how you might have imagined
There
it
were a
would, or were there things
few
that
things that
surprised you?
surprised me. So when the I love that you can that I followed the format, the sheet, and it had here, fill in the adjective, sort of like a Mad Lib about our own life. Right.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. I wish I
Yes.
could have one of those for writing a book.
Yeah. And but part
It's
of it
just
too,
not
like
enough.
it's sometimes it's hard for me to go back. Well, what did I like as a kid? What did I do? We don't have all like right now. I mean, I have tons of photos of my kids, but I don't have all of that from my
Mhm.
childhood.
Do you look at them though? Because this is, my mother sent me a picture of myself and my younger son yesterday, and it's just, I don't really look at, he's about 18 months, and I was like, oh, look how sweet this is. Like, I don't really go back, and in a way, I feel like it's like overwhelming how many pictures there are. It's difficult to engage with them in a substantive way. Where the ones from my childhood, it's like, well, here are the 10 pictures from when I was two. So this gives me sort of an idea,
Right.
because we like didn't have a camera for a while. So, it's like just whatever random picture someone else took. Um, so it's interesting. And I also think, and I definitely do this, like there are certain moments that I give more weight to, like, oh, you really like trains. So I'm definitely going to take pictures of you engaging with this train, where there aren't as many moments, maybe the other. I don't know. It's just something I've
Right.
thought about because I love
And then
pictures. And when someone, which rarely happens because I'm usually the picture taker, when someone sends me a picture that I'm not aware of myself, it's like
mm-hmm.
it's a real gift. You know, it's like, oh, look at this piece of myself that I don't know. It's, I'm sure there's
Mom,
something metaphysical there, but it's like, it's a really it's an interesting, it's like a different version of myself somehow, the picture version, or
yeah.
the preserved
Mm-hmm.
version. Because there really aren't pictures of you like sitting in the corner reading a book, where there really should be a lot of me doing that. No pictures of that. um, so
But
yes, you had to sort of
mm-hmm.
ruminate
And
on what you liked as a child,
I don't have
because
a
you
lot of
don't
pictures, but
have pictures.
I still do have all the Barbies. So that one, I have a lot.
Do you
Yeah,
really? Oh wow,
yeah, and
I was obsessed with Barbies. It was like my
yeah, and
doll,
there were so
my
many. It was like
toy
the
of
heyday,
choice.
right?
Oh my God. Oh my God. And I mean, I was very fortunate. I had like the
Pink
pool and the
convertible.
house, and I mean, people came to my house for, yeah, for the Barbie
Yep,
immersion. Because I didn't like dolls or anything like that. So
yep.
I was all Barbie
I
all
hear
the
you. Same.
time.
And now,
I can't
well,
believe you have them. How do they age? Like, how's their
so
hair?
the
I
ones
feel like
that
it
I
was pretty
have,
tangly
my
back then.
parents also spoiled me with collecting Barbies. So I had the box that I played with, and then there were all these. They're all in boxes, so they look great.
Nice.
And so now I
Are
I
those
have
worth
sold a
money?
few of them to a local toy store, and I
Yeah.
will let my kids
Yeah.
go through them, and they can pick because it feels excessive at times. And like again with the pictures, there's just so many. What do I do with them? So
Oh, wow. Well, if
you
I'm
can
ever in Missouri, I'm
tell me
stopping
which one
by,
you like.
because that would be just, well, I don't need one, but just to like see them, because I feel like the current
Yes.
ones are very different
Mm-hmm.
than the ones we had as kids. So it doesn't
Yep.
like
And this would,
kick up
yep.
nostalgia for
Yeah, they
me.
some
But I
memory
think,
and they're tangible
yeah.
pictures
Oh,
of childhood. Because when I was growing up, I was, my brothers
oh,
were
wow.
older. They're out of the house. That's what
Me
I mean, I remember playing
too.
with dolls or playing with Barbies or being outside climbing
Mhm.
trees.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have a picture of myself with, one picture with like the Barbie townhouse. It was like a 3-story thing that was real cheap thing, like cardboard with
Nice.
that, but it had an elevator,
Yep.
like a elevator. Yeah, and I'm naked with roller skates.
That's it.
So it's a very
Yes.
memorable photo. Um, okay, so Barbies and Walkman and mixtapes.
Yep.
I
And
miss
it's a lost art
mixtapes.
right now, isn't it? Correct.
Playlists
Right.
are not the
Something
same.
physical about having the tape
I'm
and
gonna just
have
say,
been waiting for the right song at the right time on the radio and hitting record.
Well, that. Oh, you're talking about those. Yes. Oh
right?
my God, with like the
Yeah,
commercials at
trying
the beginning,
to get
like
your favorite
trying not
song.
to.
So,
Yeah, I did that. And then eventually you had the dual cassette player where you could like, especially once I got to college, I would just like go scrounge other people's cassette tapes and then borrow the song I liked and then make a mixtape. And um,
it is. And that
it's like a
last
whole
summer,
thing. When someone gives you a
I have a
mixtape,
CD from my
oh,
husband's when we were dating. He made one. And that's probably like the last version of one that I would have. Yeah, with
that's sweet. He
different songs
burned you a
altogether.
CD. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's really sweet. Um, so did you grow up in, I mean, near
Ohio.
Lake Erie, but
So,
what part
outside
of the
Toledo,
country?
Ohio.
Okay.
So Lake Erie was
Mhm.
there. And I
I grew up near water, and I think it really
and
marks
Lake
you.
Erie is sort of brooding and dark. I mean, part of it is the pollution with Lake Erie is
Mhm.
not the cleanest necessarily. Like if you go to Wisconsin and you look at Lake Michigan, there's a stark difference.
Michigan.
Um, but Lake Erie
Oh,
just has its
interesting.
own, personality and power. And grew up going to the state park, swimming
Hmm.
at the beach there.
Yeah. I just felt a certain sense of, I felt a certain peace reading your poem, like just kind of a certain serenity of, uh, I think the water, even though you only really mention it, I just felt this kind of like immersion. It's really lovely. Um, any other thoughts or experiences you
Oh,
want to share?
well, I also it's funny what you remember what your parents say, and so I love being able to include these just to listen
Mm-hmm.
to your mother. Sort of always, I still can get that
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while from my mom, and then my father, who's no longer alive, he had this saying that he would write to
Mm-hmm.
me when I was living overseas, and anytime I talked to him on the phone, he just said, "Don't forget to wear your boots." Um, this quintessential.
And you grew in a
That was
place with
actually the
boots where
ironic thing.
boots
I
were
was in
necessary.
West Africa, which was
Oh,
hot.
no. Oh,
So
oh
boots were
yeah, you
not
posted pictures of that.
would not be helpful, except for him caring about his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
worrying about being, stepping on snakes or hippos coming after me. He just said, "Don't forget to wear your boots," and I just, daughterly, yes, Dad, as I go off. I
So
yes,
that was his way
yeah,
of showing
hmm
care.
just thousands of miles away in a country so foreign to him, and then yet, but this is, I'm thinking of you, I'm caring for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And you did Peace
hmm
Corps there, correct? Yeah. Amazing. I that's an experience
hmm
that seems very life changing for
hmm
many people who
Yep.
participate in it. Yeah. Um, well, I mean, I'm very
Good.
happy to speak with you because I feel like for those of you watching, Kim and I interact on social media a
But
lot, but we've never spoken. So that's always a
that's right.
treat
And
to
there's something
see
about
someone's
voices too,
face.
right? So great.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're sharing space, even though
Yep.
it's this space. It still counts, which I find kind of mysterious. Um, I was thank you for joining me and sharing your poem and starting off the new year. I feel like it was a really lovely way to start. Like it was meditative about how where we came from can be like it some of the poems, including mine, feel a little bit like dark, and this one feels like, oh, you know, childhood can just be this kind of quiet, like hopeful space, and I that's nice.
That'll be my next version, right? The
Yeah.
darker side.
So, well, that's when you were talking about the kids thing, like our kids and what they would write. I did this. I was in my one of my kids' classes, and we did it like as a I held with it and helped, and we did it, and they're teenagers, and they were still really like it was. I mean, I cried for sure when I read them. I mean, not only my own child, but the other children I've known for much of their life. It was emotional for me, and but it was still pretty hopeful and like the good things and the sweet things. And I was joking with a friend like, oh, when does it start to be like, when do we start to kind of, there's a different like
Yeah.
reflection point where you see things like as you go out into the world, you look back, it's a different experience, like
Hmm.
looking
Yes.
backward as opposed to
Hmm.
being in it. Because I wish I had a poem that I wrote at 14. I'd be so curious what,
Hmm.
you know, because I think the
Hmm.
physical details would be very similar.
Yes. Yeah. So what a gift you gave to those high schoolers.
It was so fun. I love teenagers. I think they get a unfair rap in general. Like, remember
Hmm.
what you were like as a teenager? That's really hard. And also to be coming of age
Hmm.
right now. Like, very,
Right.
I don't feel comfortable saying post COVID. I don't think it's
Hmm.
post. So, during this
And all the
time and
technology pressure.
um, yeah, and all the like climate change and
Hmm.
it's a lot for me to manage. And so I think it's lovely that you have a book about, because I think the more grace we can bring to our relationship with our children and to try to meet them where they are and um, give ourselves grace that
Hmm.
that might be a new space for us
Yes.
where they
That's
are.
the truth. That's a good word.
So I'm very excited for you and your book, and I can't wait to read
Yeah. Thank
it. And
you.
thank you
So
again
good.
for
We'll
joining
keep
me, Kim. I
keep
really appreciate
coming
it.
for more words from you all. Sounds good.
We'll be back
Take
next
care.
week. Okay.